Well, hello, YouTubers. Hey, got another stick off my building today, and not sure what kind of wood it is, but you see, just another stick right now. Came out of a cleanup that I helped do for the sticks. We had a tornado go through here this summer, and lots of people got lots of trees on the ground. Anyway, it's okay. It's got some characteristics twists to it. I've already cut this off 57 inches to start with, and I see no cracks here at the top, and I see none at the bottom. I think we're ready to go. Get my face goggles on. I can wear my reading glasses under this mask. I can see better. I have my holes hooked up to my shroud here. I'm trying to get these housings on all my grinders, so I can use any of them inside. I have 2 outside, 2 inside. Now I've got the 2 inside ones with the housing on them. And it gets rid of 95 to 98% of the dust. Got it hooked up to my shop back. Real aggressive wheel on here. I don't try to get it just right down to finish it all. I just rough it out here. Then I bring out the 120 grit sander and finish it up that way. Have it all down, roughed in. That end is about 3/4 of an inch. I think I got that on camera. About 3/4 of an inch down this way. And it's tapering gently all the way up now. And that's inch and a quarter, maybe at the top. I have another grinder here. I like to leave that open because the edge of your cutter is right there, so you always know where that's at. You can look down at it that way, and that's turning that direction, so everything goes right up into that hole, and it works very well. So I'm going to show you the technique here. We just keep everything moving. That's the secret to it. Never stop one or the other. While you're going and turn the stick around, that knocks it down, knocks these edges off. Which this time, I'm not going to be trying to get it so round looking, they just smooth. I'd say that is just about where I want it. Now I've got all the way down that far and up to here. Of course, I don't get too close to my hand that's holding that. I'll turn it around and get that. But you see, that's pretty slick all the way down to there. And my technique is, I'll hold it with this hand. Hope you can have that in sight. Now, right there, I'll hold it with my hand here, and I can manipulate it this way. Now I want to get about as far as I can reach each time. So what I'll do next time, I'll get down here and hold it, and I can reach almost to the end, and I'll get it all the way down that far, and then I'll just finish that little bit I have, turn it around, and get this other end. I'm going to go ahead and slick this from the head down, and then we'll get back and see what else we're going to do with it. Okay, here we got the plain stick that's been sanded real nice. It is about a little over a 1 inch on one end, and it comes down to about a 3/4, pretty small on the other end. It's a fairly light stick, but yet it's very hefty and strong. Now what this stick is going to be is a little different, because usually you'll see that I'll do carving, or I'll get it ready for this embellishment or whatever. This time it's going to be a little bit different, whereas the focus is going to be on the paracord wrap. It's going to be a little different, and it's going to be, this stick is, focus point is going to be entirely on the wrap. No embellishment or anything, but the wrap is going to make the difference. So therefore, after sanding, it's ready for the finish. And I'm going to use the Minwax wood finish, penetrating stain, golden oak, and I have the rubber gloves on. We're going to jump right into it and get it stained. I may round the tip end of it some, I'm not sure yet. But that can come later. I want to get a good surface coating of that good dark golden oak finish. And this has some very nice grain to it and some characteristics that is going to make a difference. And I want to stain the end of it. Like I said, this end of it will probably stay square. I'm not sure. We'll take a look after we get it all done. Now I'm just going to leave it sit just like that and let it dry. Let's let it go for a couple hours. Maybe we'll give it a light coat then with some 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth it down, because the water-based stain has a tendency to raise the grain just a little bit. I want to start this right down below this little bend right here. That's where my hand grip's going to be. So to start with, I'll take this end of my paracord, go over the top. I want to tie a clove hitch, go over the top and cross over here, and you come back and go right under that one right there. That gives you what's called a clove hitch, and that will stay pretty tight. Once you get it tight on your stick, bring your long tail under each time, reach down and pick up under the stick where that's coming out and pull that through. Okay, to start with, it's kind of long. Before you pull it tight, put this little pigtail underneath there. Okay, hold that down like this and just pull it tight. Now, you get a hold of your loop, reach underneath your stick. By the way, the top of your stick is facing away from you. And come underneath here and start pulling it through again. Believe me, it's simple once you get the knot started. Now get a hold of this, reach under and get your cord and pull it through like that. It's important that you do the same thing each time. It'll want to normally go around the stick. It'll go ahead around. Now again, get a hold of your loop like this. Reach under there, get your tail in. Your loop is always going to be up here. Pull this right through. As it gets shorter, it gets easier. I've got about 18, 20 foot of this paracord. Always get it long enough, because it depends on the diameter of your stick. But see, it's covering this up all the way down. I'm going around, I'm tightening it up each time. Lay it down there. It don't matter if you want to roll around this way. Don't matter. Get a hold of your loop, reach under and get that. So your loop is always coming from underneath, no matter what. Feed it back through that loop. And see, that's normally going to go right over that. It's going over that little knot, and it kind of looks puckered up right there. But if you just let it get tight where it wants to, see how that's starting to curl around like this. Now again, when you hold your loop, reach under the stick, get your end, and go through that loop again, just like that. And all you do is continue that, and that continue to go right on down the stick. Hold your thumb on that pigtail and just tighten it up. And now reach under and reach under the stick, hold your loop, put it right in there again. Hold the pigtail with your thumb. You'll finally cover that up, and you won't have to worry about it no more. And that's the end of your loop. Keep it from coming undone. Make your loop again, reach under the stick, pull it through your loop, travel around, tighten just where it wants to. You'll get a little faster at it as you go. Hold that pigtail with my thumb. Now we can turn this stick back around now to where the top of the stick is facing you. Okay, now we have this twisted wrap on here, and I'm going to put a Turk's head on each end of this, and it's going to be in this camo design. I'm going to attempt to show you a simple way to do this that I found somewhere on the internet. If I can find the place where I learned this, I will leave a link at the bottom. First, take 3 fingers, and I want you to lay a substantial amount, 6 inches at least, from your thumb down here, sticking out. Okay? Now I want to wrap that around so as to make an X. Look at that so far. Now, don't come around this way, come under that thread. So it's coming backside of that dead end there, and up here, and it crosses over that. You get to start out with about 6 foot of cord, is what I have here. Now, go under that. Don't let that slip off your finger. That's like that. Now you've got that mesh right in there. Pull that down. Pull it up tight a little bit if you want. Now, what I do, I'm going to take these 2 that's coming under here. Once you get past this finger part, you can slip it on there and it becomes a lot easier. So now, what you do now is take this top one on the backside and pull this one under like that. And then take this end, you can find the end somewhere, that's right there, and I flip that over there. Now slip this one under that one and pull it through again. Now you're starting to get a weave like that. Should look something like that. You can pull it down a little bit tighter and bring this around, and it's still even up like so here, and your end, let's see, now, let that cross over like this, and then get the end again and put it under there. Okay? You might have to rewind this a few times to see it. But now that is where you ought to be right now. You tighten that up a little bit so you can see where we're at and pull that around, still managing to keep 3 fingers in there. Now, what you should see is something like this. This long end is coming under this one, and this one is coming back up under the same one. Okay? Now don't get it too tight. We still have to work with it like it is. Now, with that coming up there, we want to reach, put your finger through there. We want to take this back one and put it under here. Yeah, that's right. And we'll bring this up through that, like this. Okay? And then this is going to go around and down through where this one comes out. See, that's the loop right there. This one's coming up through that, and you want this down through here. If you can get to this point, you're home free. Now, we have a braid that's about even going all the way around. Now all we have to do is slip it right over the end and go right down here on your stick. And let's get it tightened up on there. Just start tightening it up. Keep pulling up on there. Now you've got all the slack out of it, and you see you have a loop braided all the way around. Now what you do is you want to see that needs to be under that. So that, you just follow this around and braid it. Now where it gets easy, since you got it off your finger and you've braided that much, you bring this around and just stick it under there. And take this little, your Merlin needle, it makes that a little easier, but you want to open that up generally the way it goes here. There it is. Now you got that stuck under there to where you can take this end, and every once in a while, if it gets too frayed, you could heat this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat this so it is, I can tuck it in without fraying the end. Now you got that Merlin stuck in there, see? That's all the way through there. Open that up enough and stick it right through there. You may say that's a little more trouble than you need to go through, but if you learn how to tie these, I do it a little easier if I'm not trying to keep it on camera. Trying to show everybody, there's where it comes through. Now, you can see where that one, now you got a double wrap. You got a single line going through all these. Now you've got a double one going under that one. And if you don't want to go any further, that's what it's going to look like all the way around. You can cut it off so it just tucks here, and there's your wrap right there. That's your 2 strings going under that, and looks like it's coming up right there. And then this one, 2 here, and there's 2 coming out. So you want to take this and cut it off and tuck it up under there. And then it looks like there's a double wrap all the way around there. So I'm going to leave it there rather than going 3 times, since I don't have a needle right now. Well, I'll show you here. I want to go cut that right about there. And then I'm gonna burn that a little so it don't fray out. Okay. And I'm gonna burn this one a little. That one's gonna tuck up under there. So I'm also gonna cut it right about there. I'll leave about a 1/2 inch sticking out there. Gotta keep that from spraying. Take your probe again, make your little hole up under that for that end to tuck into. We're gonna go right up under that. That got it back up under there real good. Now this one, again, I'll get me a little probe in here, and I'll make a hole for that to tuck into. Now, if you see a close-up of that, it's tight enough where you push it right down tight against that, and we'll look at it a little closer. You can see that double weave, 2 ropes going in and out all the way around without showing the ends of the string at all. Now we'll do the other end and we'll be finished. Okay, I got the other Turk's head knot in there, and since this was a kind of a fancy decoration, I got the handle and then a camo Turk's head knot, I'll wrap around the top edge and bottom edge of that. We still need a wrist strap, so I went and I'm going to tie that on about a 1/2 inch above that Turk's head. Now I put my hole, 3/16 hole, and I'm going right through there. I have plenty left here. I think I'm going to go up about 2 foot. I'm going to cut that off right about there. And we're not going to do anything now but just tie us a nice little loose knot. I don't know what the name of those are, just like you're tying a shoe. And I tie that through there and tie that on the right there. And then we'll tie the same thing on the other side, just to let it go just like this on both sides. Now we do that, we can see that this is going to be the back side of it where you'd want your wrist strap. So come back one more time, tie one more knot, and then get yourself a square knot in there, right on the back side of that. So I'm going to keep that from turning as much as I can. It don't hurt if it stays on there a little bit loose. I want to get a nice tight there, and then I want to tie a square knot in that. So I'm going to go under that one and back down in that hole. There we go. That's a square knot. Once we get it all done here, and I'll just bring it up there. Now that is not going to come loose very easy. Now you have a couple wraps around that twisted around the back, comes around to your square knot, and then you're going to come up with either side and just tie you a slip knot in that. The slip knot is just what it says. It just can be any kind of a knot, just as long as it slips. The other string can slip up and down on it like so. I used to be kind of particular about what kind of knot went in those, but really there's not much that you can do, that you can go wrong. I tie 1/2 inches. There's one. That kind of completes that 1/2 inch right there. You want to see it still slips up and down. And then I'll run that around once, go back down through there again. There's like a double 1/2 inch in that. As you can see it right there. And you can tighten up on that any way you want to. And now, what I do is tie a regular knot in this, just one knot through, and I slip it all the way down, get it in close to that 1/2 inch as we can, and that keeps it from coming back through there. That still slips up and down real good. Slip it all the way up. Now you do two things. Come down about 2 or 3 inches, cut that off. Leave that much sticking out there. And then go down next to that knot. Not the one that don't cut the cord that's slipping through, but come down to that last knot you made, and let's cut that off right there, close to that knot. Now take your burner, cigarette lighter, and match. I found a lot of uses for these little torches since I bought this one. Now you see you come up, that's going to leave you about 2 or 3 inches dangling there. Cut that off a little shorter if you want. But I'll leave that in like that. I'll make a little cap on the end of that. Now then, when that dries, that's going to keep that from sliding through accidentally on you there. Sometimes they take and tie a little knot on the end of it. Don't hurt anything. A little knot like that. Now then, that leaves you a little decorative piece on the end there, and it's still sticking out real good where you can handle it, but it don't come back. It don't slip through there now. That's about it for the wrist strap. Let's take a look, review this thing, take a good look at it, and kind of see what we got. Well, now, here we finished another walking stick, and I want to go over it from top to bottom with you. It's about 57 inches long, and it rests my head kind of comfortable there when I'm standing, and that's kind of what I look for. But now, if you're a little shorter, you can always pick it up and cut a little bit off the end of it. It's about 9/16 or less on that one end, and it tapers all the way up to here to a nice little over 1 inch, maybe something like that. Real light stick, and I'll say take a look at it there. It's not too crooked. It's got a little crook in it just to make it interesting. Now from that, I want to talk about the top. Now I just left that sawed off, but I didn't want to just saw it off. It's finished. But what I did after I put the stain on it, I got to looking, and I just sharpened that just to knock the edge, square edge off of that. And what I noticed, I'd left a nice little ring showing. So I just put some clear right over top of that and going to leave it just like that. And I think that adds a little decorative to it, just to have that ring around it. Now we go on down, and we've seen the Turk's head knot. It's kind of a new knot. This is all separate. You can have a separate color paracord. You could have blue and a white, or a black and a red, or whatever you wanted. But now, of course, the wrist strap's the last thing I did. I didn't want to get it right on top of that Turk's head that we made. But you see that Turk's head is woven all the way around. If you'll see, there's no end to that. That's woven braid, and there's no end showing on that. I have one at the bottom of this grip itself, and you see it goes all the way around. It's braided, a double rope, all the way through there, all the way around, and there's no end to it. It's a continuous braid. And I showed you how to do that. That does take some practice, but that is a nice knot to learn how to do, because if you get it loose enough to start with, loosen it up a little and get it going. You can have 4 strands going through that. It gets kind of rounded as it goes. I'm thinking I'm going to do another stick with Turk's head on it, similar to this. And where this is a double one, there's two looks like going through there. I'm going to have 4, and that's going to make that a lot rounder and come up here. So that's on a future stick to come. I'm definitely going to do that. So much for that. That's about it for this stick. It's about all I can say. If you enjoyed the video, there's a subscribe button down there. If you haven't done that, give me a thumbs up if you like it. And be sure to leave me a comment. I kind of like to know what you think about these videos and what you think about me altogether. In closing, I'd like to say thanks for the prayers. And hey, I'll see you in the next video.